Monday, and it is that time to talk some sports with our guy, Pep. What's up, Pep?
Dude, guys, it was a huge sports weekend. Not only did we have UFC 249, which turned out to be great with no fans in attendance, it worked out fine. But I don't know if you call it Saturday morning. I want to say it was South Carolina. I think it was Rock Hill, South Carolina. They had the regional qualifier for the Cornhole National Championships, and they were also doing the social distancing and the wearing of the masks and the wearing of the gloves, and everything was fine. But we had cornhole and UFC all in one weekend, man. That's a big weekend for sports.
Hey, it fits KCAL so well. We love some cornhole, and so does the listeners.
Cornhole by day, fighting by night. It's like a day in Havasu.
Yeah.
Dude, it was the best Saturday ever. My wife's like, man, you're going to stop everything you're doing to see this cornhole competition? I'm like, yes. The answer is yes. Mother's Day was Sunday. Saturday, I'll take my sports. Sunday could be your day, but Saturday, I'm watching my cornhole and my fighting. So just leave me alone. But we did have some sports. We are starting to usher back in some things. We talked about the Korean Baseball League. We've got some other things starting this weekend. We've got NASCAR coming up this weekend. We're going to have some charity golf events taking place. If you're a soccer fan, the Bundesliga, which is the top professional league in Germany, very good level of soccer, they're going to be starting later this week. I think it's actually Friday. So things are starting to open up a little bit. So if you're a sports fan, I know we have to be patient. It's been challenging, but things are starting to open them back up again, and we're starting to have more live sporting events.
That does make sense because I remember 40 telling me about whoever runs Germany or whatever did it the best and found out where the virus was and isolated it, and now they're recovering super quick.
Yeah, I mean, you could look at the Bundesliga. You could look at I don't know what happened in South Korea, but their Korean baseball league got off to a quick start, ahead of everybody else. And I'm like, wow, what did they do? But again, all these sports, like we saw with UFC, like we're seeing with the Korean baseball league, there's no fans. It's a little bit of a different experience, but I think at this point we're so sports starved, like no one's going to really be critical. In fact, people actually said UFC was pretty cool having no fans there. Like it was again a different experience, something that going into it you're probably like, it's going to be weird. No one's screaming, no fans. But it worked. I don't know if you guys saw any of it, but it worked.
It was interesting to watch. I mean, you'd see big hits land and no reaction from a crowd, which is always kind of weird because then it just makes it sort of mutes the action a little bit when you don't get crowd reactions. There was a couple of funny points where, I mean, as fighters are fighting, they're talking with their coach because they can't. Normally they can't do that because the crowd noise drowns out their coach from them. And these guys are actually engaged in fighting and having conversations with their coach about what they should be doing. At one point, Joe Rogan goes to interview a guy, gets done with the interview, and goes to do his normal, ladies and gentlemen, that's blah, blah, blah. And he's like, absolutely nobody who's here. Never mind.
Yeah. I mean, it's very unusual, but it did kind of remind me of, first of all, the UFC TV show, where they had those fights on the TV show with no crowd. So I was gym, this does kind of work, and it does kind of work out a little bit. Another part that really made me laugh, Pep, was one fighter when he was coming in and he started fake high-fiving with the imaginary crowd. That started making me laugh, and I thought it worked really well. Even with an outbreak, if they had somebody who tested positive, they managed to even have that, not spoil it, just separate him, test him 2 days before, and still carry it on.
Yeah, if anything, the UFC proved to a lot of different, let's say, Major League Baseball or NBA, how you could handle it. They did have a fighter test positive, and they medically did what they needed to do, and everyone else was safe and fine, and they got him out of there, and the event went on like planned. So I mean, if you're the NBA or Major League Baseball, you're probably sitting back taking some notes, saying what did they do? This totally worked out. Just because you had a positive case doesn't mean you have to shut everything down and start over again. They were able to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
So plus, I'm with you guys too. I love hearing the fighter and the coach go back and forth. You could hear it, and then plus the fans on social media, what they loved as well was that bone on bone action, man. You could hear the flesh on bone,
man.
You could hear the collisions, man. Every single hit, you could hear those things.
Big punches too that landed. There were some major fights in my card.
Oh yeah.
So it was good. It was good to see it. It was good to have sports back. We do have an update on Major League Baseball. We'll talk a little NFL real quick as well. It's all brought to you by Matheson Gas. They are the gas professionals. 3 locations across the Inland Empire in Rancho Cucamonga, Fontana, and Riverside. So if you need gas, they can help you out. I know more and more businesses are reopening, which is a great thing. If you're an essential business and you've been going this whole time, whether you're a restaurant, maybe you are a hospital. A lot of hospitals use gas, and I think people forget about that. Matheson Gas can help you out. The website is mathesongas.com. Check them out online. Call one of the 3 locations. See if they can help you. And again, one day, and hopefully soon, we will be back in our backyards, grilling, hanging out, talking sports. So as soon as you can, they can refill that propane tank as well. That's mathesongas.com online. Check them out. So the latest with Major League Baseball is that they're looking at an 80-game schedule. We've talked about this. It's going to be reduced from 162 regular season games down to 80, which I know 40 is completely on board with.
Permanent change. Come on.
Yeah, but they might expand the playoffs, though, which I thought was kind of cool, like 7 teams per league, so a little bit of a longer playoff format. But
everybody makes the playoffs. Everybody's in.
I kind of like it because it makes the games matter a little bit more. You know, he may like it over there.
Yeah, you know what? I would be totally for it. Like, maybe we only need 80 games to separate the teams that should be in the playoffs and the teams that shouldn't be in the playoffs. So once you get to the end of the 80 games, sure, let in 7 teams from each league and extend the playoffs a little bit, because those are the teams that deserve to be there anyway. So I don't know. Baseball, you know, the coronavirus has forced their hand here, but maybe this is something that's going to work out in their favor.
I mean, we at least get to give it a test run. We'll call it the 40-size baseball season.
I prefer 0 games of baseball, but I'll take only 80.
Oh, it's baseball venom is coming out.
Yes. Well, you know, hopefully too, we'll have a decision by baseball very, very soon, because they kept talking about May or early June would be the restart of this new spring training 2.0 to go into the season. So I mean, something would have to happen soon. Like we're kind of running out of time at this point.
Hey, let's get those going, because that means that football will start to get going too, and that's all. To see, that's 40's language right there. Football. Baseball could be helping your football, 40.
In that case, okay.
Hey, turn them around.
And I think football. I think I'm getting more and more confident about the NFL and about college football as well. I know a lot of college football. You know, these school presidents and athletic directors have said, "Oh no, we're coming back to class, and our plan is to start football." Now, some of the schools they said like maybe 80% of schools will come back to play football. Like, there's a possibility that not everyone will come back and play football, so they'll have to make adjustments there. But I would say, especially down in the SEC, I think even the Pac-12 commissioner came out and said, "No, we're planning for the season. Like, there's nothing stopping us at this point. We're planning ahead. We're going to start on time as usual."
Is this where we're going to find out just how little of student there is in student athlete?
Exactly. And how much money.
Right.
Yes, man. College football is such a big business. And, you know, the thing is, if you can allow students on campus to go to class for academics, you know, the argument is, well, they can play sports too. Like, sports are easy, you know, maybe outside of basketball, sports are pretty easily, you can easily social distance with your opponent or your own teammates. So,
oh yeah.
So we'll see how football looks. And NFL-wise, I mean, we had the schedule come out. We got great games. Rams will open up with the Cowboys on Sunday Night Football, September 13th. We got the Raiders will open up at Carolina, but then come back against New Orleans, man. How about that? The first game in Las Vegas, Raiders and Saints on Monday Night Football.
Wow.
Chargers will open up at the Bengals, and they're back home against the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs that open up SoFi Stadium for their first home game. And like I said, the Rams and Cowboys, which is a big one. But yeah, and then 40, we were talking about the fact that, you know, what if California's restrictions are still in place, and it's not just NFL teams, but any professional team, they're not going to let them play in California. Now, I think I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit, because I think California will open up by then, but I guess they're looking at alternative sites, right?
Yeah, they were saying if for whatever reason, if California is still under a lockdown thing and they can't use the stadiums for the 3 NFL teams, They're saying that the 49ers could have a deal where they go use the Arizona Cardinals stadium. The Chargers would hop over and share stadiums with the Las Vegas Raiders, and the Rams would hop over and share stadiums with the Dallas Cowboys.
Which would be
wow.
weird.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, they have all their bases covered. You know, the refund plan, the moving around plan, and the go straight ahead plan, which I think that's what they're going to do. They're going to go straight ahead like a locomotive, and nothing is going to stop the billion-dollar train that is the NFL.
No way, man. Nothing has stopped it so far. They find ways to get it done, even with the NFL draft, even though it was a virtual draft. But yeah, I think, again, I'm not a medical professional, but my hunch is California will be more open than people think in a couple months by the time training camps would have to start like at the end of July. So I think it's great that these California teams have options, but I think we're going to see them in SoFi Stadium. I think we're going to see them up at Levi's Stadium and so on.
Yeah, it might be like half-filled capacity. Who knows? But
Yeah.
I think we're going to definitely be getting football here in California. Whether fans are there or full fans, I think that's what's going to remain to be seen.
Yeah,
Full speed
even
ahead.
if they're home with modifications, it's all good. We just want football.
Yeah.
Big time. So yeah, the schedule release was a big news, and again, yeah, the Rams and Chargers opening up their new stadium, and the Raiders again opening up their new stadium in Las Vegas.
See, they got the plan in place. I'm telling you, Pep, tell them how to get your stuff.
It's Inland Sports. You can go check it out right now. We got a great conversation we're going to post with the CIF Southern Section Commissioner about high school sports. I know people are asking about that. You can check it out. That's Inland Sports, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and the YouTube channel. Smash that subscribe button for us. That's Inland Sports.
Thanks, Pep.